Today we will discuss something more interesting. How to have a better postgraduate dissertation. That's our topic. Begin with an end in mind. One of the famous words of Stephen Covey. So whenever you would like to start a course or whatever it may be, begin with an end in mind. To begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. While joining for the BHMS course or while joining for a PhD or while joining for a PG course, you must have an understanding about your destination. What after PG or what after PhD or what after BHMS? It means to know where you are going so that you better understand where you are now, and so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. So that you can better understand where you are now, so that the step you take are always in the right direction. Always remember this thing during your post-graduation. What after post-graduation? So today we'll discuss something about the post-graduation and research, the common errors noted by the Kerala University of Health Sciences, University Guidelines, format by KUHS, the basic structure of a postgraduate dissertation, and something interesting about how to select a topic and how to write a best title, the parts of a dissertation, and how the examiners are evaluating the dissertation, and the referencing style, data entry and backup, and plagiarism check, and finally something about the teaching methodology. These are all the things that we are going to discuss now. And first of all, I would like to request you to empty your cup whenever joining for a post-graduation or for PhD or whatever it may be. Empty your cup, because a full cup cannot accept anything more. Similarly, a person who believes that he had learned a lot cannot learn anything else and will stagnate quickly and not move to higher levels. Even the teachers have teachers. So always remember, while you are joining for a course or while you are joining for a profession, whatever it may be, a lot of things to learn. So a full cup cannot accept anything more. And this was about your time. The first BHMS, 1,190 hours inside the classroom, not in the campus, but inside the classroom. Second BHMS, third BHMS, fourth BHMS, and a total of 5,035 hours inside the classroom of your college, plus 1 year internship. Now just introspect whether we utilized it effectively or not. And for the post-graduation, you have to spend nearly 6,550 hours. How many hours we are effectively utilizing? Remember, the scenario is entirely different from that of the BHMS. During BHMS time, you had exam every 6 months, lot of assignments, records, whatever it may be. But during post-graduation, you have only 2 exams within 3 years. One exam after 1.5 years and another one at the end of the 3 years. Enough time to acquire the clinical knowledge. So the scenario is entirely different. So try to utilize. Otherwise, after 3 years of post-graduation, you may become totally disappointed. So this is about our time. And you are all skilled personalities. That is why you got admission in reputed institute across India. Able personalities. All are able. But only by constant practice will become a good practitioner, good researcher, or a good teacher. That constant practice, that is we are doing it during our post-graduation. And we are calling the Sachin Tendulkar as a skilled cricketer, not as a cricketer, because he achieved everything. And we are calling the Yeshudas as Ghana Gandharvan, not as a singer or a musician, because he achieved everything in that field. So only by constant practice we will become good practitioners, good researchers, or by good teachers. So this constant practice, that is what we are going to discuss, and that is what we are doing during our post-graduation. And see this pyramid, read this pyramid, watch this pyramid very carefully. And this is the average learning retention rate. Suppose if you are attending a lecture, at the end of the lecture, only 5% is remaining in your mind. That's the retention. If you are reading a book, 10% only the retention rate. And if you are watching an audio visual aids, only 20% of retention. Demonstrating in the IPD and OPD. That means 30% learning retention. And the group discussion during your post-graduation, 50% of the learning retention. And practice by doing. Suppose we are practicing the IV, catheterization, whatever it may be in your clinical practice, in your IPD or OPD, whatever may be the different procedures. Practice by doing. That means 75% of retention, learning retention. And teaching others, that means 90% retention rate. So if you are teaching others, the retention rate is 90%. Remember. So auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. 90%, that's the highest learning retention. That is by teaching others. So the more you teach, the better you learn. Teaching is a powerful tool to learning. The more you teach, better you learn. So try to utilize the opportunity of teaching your undergraduate students in the IPD, in the OPD, or in the clinics, or in the theory class, whatever it may be. Now, what is the difference between a teacher and a professor? In homeopathy medical colleges, you will get assistant professor, associate professor, or professor only. But in your primary or higher secondary school, you have teachers. There are great difference between teacher and a professor. For example, as a teacher, suppose you want some water, you are thirsty, then the teacher will show you the water cooler, and the teacher will take some water and instruct the students how to take the water. What are the needs of taking water? And what are the needs of taking this pure water? What will happen if you are not taking water? Everything teacher will explain. But the scenario is entirely different in professional colleges. We will give you the syllabus and books. You have to pass the exam, you have to study everything. But the professor will give you something beyond the books, beyond the syllabus, or beyond the boundaries, the practical aspect or the interpretation of the subjects. So that's the difference between a teacher and a professor. Everything depends upon your work, especially during post-graduation. No regular classes, but the output that depends upon how you are working during your post-graduation. And after 3 years, never blame your teacher or never blame your institute. Everything depends upon your individual work. So study now and be proud later. Now, what are the purpose of PG? Mainly 3 purposes. First one, that's a professional development. That means you will become a skilled practitioner at the end of the 3 years as a professional, skilled practitioner. And the second one, human resource for academic structure. That means creating good teachers. So try to utilize the opportunity of teaching the undergraduate students. Currently, we have no M.Ed or B.Ed courses as in other systems of other profession. We are directly thrown into teaching profession immediately after the post-graduation. So post-graduation is a training period in order to make good academic structure. And the third one, research aptitude. That's the third purpose of PG. So that is what we are going to discuss today. How to develop a research aptitude and how to have a better dissertation, etc., etc. So first we'll discuss about the common mistakes in postgraduate dissertation. So there is a dilemma in homeopathy profession regarding the research. The first one, we do not have a regular course in research methodology. Students and guides don't know where to start, how to proceed, and how to write. That's one dilemma. Only a small portion in our community medicine during our BHMS syllabus. So we do not have a regular course in research methodology. So that is one dilemma actually. Now the PG dissertation means training in scientific approach and research methodology. This is only a training. It's not an actual research. The original research outcome is not so important. That means the result is not so important. Don't try to make your result as positive. Even the negative result, that is okay. Only the methodology should be correct. So this is a foundation or basement to the research. Post-graduation is a foundation or basement to the research. Suppose our teacher in our primary school, mathematics teacher, was not good in our primary school, that's not in good relation with us. We may lose interest in the mathematics throughout our life. That should not happen for the postgraduate scholars because they are the future researchers. So PG dissertation means training in scientific approach and research methodology. It's a training only. Original research outcome is not so important. That means the result is not so important, but the methodology should be correct. And this is the foundation or the basement to research. Now, what is the definition of research? That we must know. Research is a process of discovery that aims to add, delete, or modify. Remember that three words. Add, delete, or modify the existing practices by way of observation, interpretation, and explanation. I will give one or two examples. Earlier, we had a belief that these artificial vitamins are very good for our body. So that we usually prescribe multivitamins and also the vitamin D, etc., etc. Now, the recent researchers suggested that the artificial vitamins are not good without any benefit, but at the same time harmful. But the natural vitamins from the fruits and vegetables, that is very good for the body. So that's a recent research finding. Similarly, you can add, delete, or modify the existing concept of the basics of the homeopathy if you think like that. And earlier we had a belief that, and the research findings suggested that the cholesterol is dangerous, and the dietary cholesterol that may leads to cardiac affection. But the recent researchers found out that cholesterol has no direct relation to the cardiac complaints, and furthermore, no need of any treatment for the cholesterol. So that means you can add, delete, or modify the existing practices or belief by way of observation, interpretation, and explanation. So that means research. Add, delete, or modify the existing facts. Now, what is the difference between a thesis and a dissertation? Dissertation means a long essay on a particular subject. That is broad. A long essay on a particular subject. But thesis means a long essay involving the personal research. That means you have to find out something new. That means highly focused on a specific issue. So PG means dissertation only. It's a broad topic. Thesis, the thesis should only be used for the PhD. So yours is dissertation. That is the difference between the dissertation and the thesis. Now the common errors noted by the Kerala University of Health Sciences. Objectives are not clear. No clear-cut objective in many postgraduate dissertations of the homeopathy medical colleges. Cut and paste, that means simply copying the plagiarism from the internet or from the textbook. No correlation of tables and explained data. We have given some table and below that we explained it, but that is entirely different. And the sample size is too small. And duration of the study is less than as mentioned in the synopsis. Lack of institutional committee recommendation. That is not there in some of the postgraduate dissertations. And the methodology, that is not clear. Aims and objectives do not match at the conclusion. In the beginning, our aim was to find out a medicine for the diabetic neuropathy, but at the end or in the conclusion, we concluded it as homeopathy is good for diabetes, not for the diabetic neuropathy. So the conclusion that may be different from the aim and objectives. Observation repeated in summary. List of abbreviation. That means we have to use the internationally accepted abbreviations only. Tables and figures are not self-explanatory. Now always remember, below the tables and figures, no need of any explanation. That should be self-explanatory, and the lack of proper referencing according to the international standards. So these are all some of the mistakes that we found in many of the postgraduate dissertations. Now, how the evaluator or the examiner is evaluating your thesis. They will look for the title first. They are not going to read your entire thesis. Remember, it is very difficult. They will not read your entire thesis, but they will look for certain areas. First one, that's a title. That should be attractive. Today we'll discuss how to write a good title and the summary. Next, they will focus on the summary. Today we'll discuss that also, how to make a summary. Then they will go for the introduction, then conclusion, reference format, tables and figure, methodology, and ethical issue. These are all the only areas an evaluator look for. So this area you need to have more concentration, more perfect. The title, the summary, introduction, conclusion, reference format, tables and figures, methodology, and ethical issues. Now, some data from our university, dissertation submission analysis of MD, MS Ayurveda. See, on the right side, accepted and total. They submitted 114, accepted 114. They submitted in 2014, 118, that is accepted. And in 2015, 101 accepted and 3 for the resubmission with the fine. So that's the scenario of Ayurveda. Almost all these dissertations are accepted by the university. Now see the status of homeopathy dissertation. In 2014, 35 accepted. In 2015 June, 3 modified and 1 rejected. In 2018 also 2 modified. So we need some more improvement for our postgraduate dissertation work. So that's the scenario. And something about the university guidelines regarding the postgraduate dissertation. The PG student shall submit the synopsis within 1 year of his or her admission. Earlier it was only 6 months, now it is 1 year. Synopsis shall be signed by the student, approved by the guide, and countersigned by the HOD and principal before sending to the university for approval. That's about the synopsis. Ethics committee clearance is compulsory. Each synopsis shall be scrutinized by a KUHS subject expert, not an homeopathic expert, but KUHS subject expert. An approved synopsis shall be published at the university website and communicated to the concerned college along with the student ID number. Non-accepted synopsis shall send back to the college for modification by giving maximum 30 days. And regarding the student guide ratio, that should be strictly followed as per the Central Council of Homeopathy norms. And the submission of synopsis of dissertation shall be accepted by the university only through the proper channel. That means only through the principal and head of the department. Then there is a provision for the change of title and guide also. If guide is sufficient guides are there, you can change your guide also. And the period of study, remember, only after the approval of your synopsis. You have to mention in your thesis or sorry in the dissertation the period of study. That means a date after the approval of your synopsis only. Remember that. And now the submission of dissertation. Each student shall submit 3 hard copies and 1 soft copy, that's in CD form, of approved dissertation through a proper channel to the university before the stipulated date. Dissertation shall be submitted 6 months prior to the conduct of university examination. 6 months. Remember, during your third year, dissertation shall be submitted 6 months prior to the conduct of university examination. And you have to submit your dissertation prior to 3 months also to your guide also. So 6 plus 3, 9 months. No dissertation shall be accepted by the university after the stipulated date on any ground. Now, something about the evaluation, how the university is evaluating your dissertation. Each dissertation shall send to 2 outside state experts and 1 KUHS expert for evaluation. 2 outside state experts and 1 KUHS expert for evaluation. That's in the concern in our own state only. If 2 evaluators out of 3 are accepted the dissertation, the university shall consider the dissertation is accepted and the student is eligible for writing the university examination. Remember, only after your thesis is accepted by the university, you can write the examination. The scenario is entirely different in Calicut and other universities. You can write the examination, even though your synopsis is accepted, but you have to submit your synopsis 6 months prior to the examination to the Kerala University of Health Sciences, and only you can write the examination only after the your thesis that is accepted by the concerned university. That's the scenario in KUHS. So very careful about your dissertation. Try to complete within the stipulated time. Otherwise, it is not possible to write the examination in Kerala University of Health Sciences. If 2 experts accepted the dissertation with the modification, the dissertation shall send back to the student for modification as per the expert's remark by giving a maximum of 45 days. Accepted dissertation with the modification, you will get a 45 days. This modified dissertation shall send back to the same expert who suggested the modification for repeat evaluation. If two experts rejected the dissertation, the student shall redo the work and shall not be eligible for writing the university examination along with the regular students. If two experts rejected the dissertation, it's not possible to write your examination. The university sent the list of approved dissertation to the principal for intimating the concerned students and HOD before the examination registration. So there are 4 types of decision in Kerala University of Health Sciences. One, accept. Second one, resubmit with the minor modification. Third one, resubmit with the major modification. And the last one, rejection. So this process should be completed within 3 months of the submission of thesis to the KUHS, and the decision will be made available in the KUHS website. So 4 types of decision. If the decision is to accept with the minor modification, the candidate can make the modification through the website itself and can get approval letter from the university with the minor modification. If the result is to resubmit with the major modification or rejection, remember, major modification or rejection, fresh submission with a fresh letter of approval from the institutional review board, and complete all the aspects has been made within 3 months with the late fees as applicable. Such resubmission will have to undergo the review at KUHS as a fresh application. That means it's not possible to write the examination with the regular students. So resubmission with the modification. Resubmission with the modification has to be sent to the same expert who originally reviewed your protocols. Protocol for clinical and animal or toxicological trials must be accompanied by the certificates of approval from the concerned regulatory authorities for the animal, toxicological and other trials. So be on time. We have to develop the essential habit of punctuality. It is most important for the high success. Punctuality reflects discipline and proper regard for others. Without it, even the most sophisticated person appears slightly offensive. Even though you are a postgraduate student with a high rank, or a teacher, or a medical officer, whatever it may be, if you are not coming on time, the most sophisticated person also appears to be slightly offensive. Now, this is upsettingly accurate. At the time of proposal, our aim, objective, or our ambition, everything that's on the left image. But at the end of the postgraduate dissertation work, our thesis will look like this on the image on the right side. Don't worry. Now we'll discuss about the parts of dissertation. First one, that's the certificates. That's the first part. That means name, year, branch, institution, guide, head, etc. Certificate, different certificate. That's the first part. And acknowledgement. And always remember, no family acknowledgement in university dissertation. Suppose your husband or your wife or the mother-in-law may help a lot for your dissertation work, but never mention any family acknowledgement in your dissertation because this is an official document. You can write the family acknowledgement while you are writing a book. That is not an issue. And the third part, table of contents. List of abbreviation, only the internationally accepted standard list of abbreviations. And the next one, that's the second part, that's the introduction. So after the certificates, that is introduction. So introduction means specify the lacuna in the current knowledge with respect to study area and state the justification of the study. Introduction means no anatomy, no physiology, no pathology. That means the justification of your study that we will discuss in detail. And the third section, that is aims and objectives. Remember, the aim and objective both are different. Aim means a broad single statement. Objective means specific, short, bulleted, pointed statements. We'll discuss in detail about the difference between the aim and objective. That's also confusing to many postgraduate scholars. Then the fourth section, that is a review of literature. Review of literature, that means what is already known, why new research, that may be 2-page in synopsis and 10-page in dissertation. That's the minimum. Minimum 2-page in synopsis and 10-page in dissertation. So what is already known that we extensively discussed yesterday? Only the research-related matter only. No anatomy, no physiology, no pathology, no clinical features, no signs and symptoms. That is required in review of literature. Only the research related data. Then the materials and methods, observation and results, discussion and conclusion, reference. And always write it as a reference. No, never write it as bibliography. Bibliography means all related publications. We are considering only the research related publication for our thesis as a reference. So always write it as a reference, never write it as bibliography. Then annexure. These are all the main parts of a dissertation. So see the first one. That's the title page. Title of your dissertation by the name of the candidate. Dissertation submitted to the Kerala University of Health Science. Remember, not thesis. Dissertation. PG means dissertation. To the university, the degree name in the subject name under the guidance of the name of the guide and the name of the department, name of the college and the place and year. So that is the first page. Title. And the second page, declaration by the student. I hereby declare that this dissertation or thesis untitled, you have to give the title of this thesis or the dissertation, whatever it may be, is a bona fide and genuine research work carried out by me under the guidance, name and designation of the guide. So the first one, that is a declaration by the candidate, first certificate. Then certificate by the guide. This work done by this candidate in partial fulfillment of the requirement of the degree, and you have to give the degree name. So that's a bona fide research certificate by the guide. Then endorsement by the head of the department or principal. It's a certificate stating that this is a bona fide research work done in this institute by the so-and-so student. Then a declaration by the candidate giving the copyright to the concerned university or the Kerala University of Health Science. The university can publish your thesis, or the university can publish your abstract also. I hereby declare that the Kerala University of Health Science, Kerala, shall have the rights to preserve, use and disseminate this dissertation or thesis in the print or electronic format for academic or research purpose. So that's the next certificate. Then the acknowledgement. There are certain guidelines for writing the acknowledgement. First, you have to acknowledge the guide. Then second, the co-guide. Then statistician, you have to acknowledge. Then you have to acknowledge the patient. Then the healthcare team, your colleagues or the laboratory people. And remember, no family acknowledgement. And see on the right side, the acknowledgement should not be lengthy and avoid superlatives. That means exaggerated acknowledgement about your guide or statistician or the patient. Never give an exaggerated or superlatives in the acknowledgement section. So first acknowledge the guide, second statistician, then the patient, third one, and the fourth one, the healthcare team, the colleagues or your laboratory experts from outside or inside the campus. And never give family acknowledgement. And the table of contents. This is the table of contents. Only 6 headings. Remember, no vertical lines in the table of contents. Only horizontal lines. Vertical lines are not at all allowed in table of contents. So introduction, review of literature, methodology, analysis and interpretation, results, discussion, summary and conclusion. Only 6 chapters. That is compulsory. And the tables, the list of tables, the headings, that should be 14 size, bold. List of figures also, the heading 14 size, and list of appendix 14 size. The size is compulsory. You have to give the serial number, the title and the page number. That is also important. So total 6 chapters, heading size 14-inch bold. Subheading 12-inch bold, sorry 12 bold. So heading 14, then subheading 12 and the matter 12, and the font should be Times New Roman. Never use any other fancy fonts. Only you have to use the Times New Roman, and the size of that font is 12. And you can use the size 10 for notes or footnotes. And 1.5, that's the space between the lines. And never use the italics in your dissertation. Only in 2 areas this italics is permitted. One, that is in the rubric. For the 2nd grade or third grade, you can give italics. And the other area, the name of the bacteria. For example, the Salmonella typhi or Streptococcus pneumoniae, whatever it may be, that you can mention in italics. No other areas, the italics is permitted. And the margin of the page, 1 inch usually, and on the left side, 1.5 inch. In other areas, on the right side, on the top and bottom, 1 inch is sufficient, but on the left side, you have to give 1.5 for an easy binding. So this is about the size and font. And the numbering, that is also important. A Roman numeral like 1, 2, 3, 4 should be used on the preliminary pages. That means the pages that mentioning about the certificates and about the table of content, etc. that you have to mention as Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, as mentioned in the slide. So pages up to the first page of the text, and the Arabic numerals, the ordinary 1, 2, 3, 4, the text pages. From the abstract and introduction onwards, you have to give 1, 2, 3 as Arabic numerals. And remember, avoid the same information represented in more than one format. You can have either the table or picture. No need of any explanation below the table, or no need of any explanation below the graph, because that should be self-explanatory. And the university not need your volume, but only the quality content. So avoid representing the same information in different formats. So these are all the main areas of division of chapters in the dissertation. We will discuss one by one. So something about the perfection. That means the simple things leads to perfection. But the perfection is not a simple thing. Suppose the post woman handling a letter to you in your office or in your clinic or in the OPD, whatever it may be. You can open it by tearing it like this way, or by just taking the scissors from the table and open it like this. Both these things create entirely different opinion in your viewers, or the audience, or the students, or the patients. So perfection is not a simple thing, but simple things lead to perfection. So we have to do our post-graduation in a perfect way. Otherwise, you will be disappointed after 3 years. Now the basic structure. First, we will discuss about the time frame. So the first 6 months after your admission, discuss with the guides, seniors. That is also very important. They have more experience than you. Review the topics, assess the equipment availability. So just check with the laboratory of your college or the nearby institute. Patient load. Never select a rare disease because you will not get a sufficient number of samples. I mean the patients. So patient load, possible obstacles of the study, and the finance. Some type of laboratory investigation may need more finance, and we need a pilot study also, and finalize the topics. This is the first 6 months of study. Means discuss with the guide, seniors, review the topic, assess the equipment availability, patient load, possible obstacles, finance required, and conduct a pilot study also. And for maximum, you will get 18 to 20 months. Beyond that is very difficult to get for the postgraduate dissertation, because you have to submit 9 months prior to the university examination to your guide, and 6 months prior to the university examination to the university also. Then the first 12 months, that's the conducting of the study. That means the collection of data, review of literature, change of topic. That is the first 12 months. Sometimes you may need to change the topic. And the next 3 months follow-up of the patient, finalization of the data, completion of the write-up of methodology and the literature section. That is the next 3 months. And the final 3 months, remember, you will get only to prepare some charts only. That means the completion of the master chart, analysis of the data, preparation of the tables and figures, and the final write-up. At least 3 months is required for that. It's a tough task. Completion of the master chart, analysis of the data, preparation of the tables and figures, and the final write-up. So this is a brief time frame about your dissertation work. So the dissertation shall be or should be clear and brief. That should be clear, precise and accurate, complete and thorough. That should be logical, objective oriented, appropriate grammar and language. That's also very important for if you are writing something, it is the grammar and the language, that's very important. And within the prescribed time limits, you have to complete that also. So first we will discuss about how to write a protocol or the different contents of your synopsis. That should contain a title, then the introduction. That means the background of the study, the statement of the problem, the rationale. That means you have to justify. Justification, that's introduction means justification of your study. And the third one, the review of literature. And the methods that contains the aim, objective, study design, research question, hypothesis, sample size, study procedure, outcome measurement. Then fifth part, the data management, data entry, data cleaning, and data analysis and reporting. So this is about the abstract that we are going to publish in the journals, or first you have to submit to the university or along with the dissertation. The length usually 250 to 300 words. IMRAD format, that's the format of abstract submission for the journals and also for the university. IMRAD means introduction, methods, results, and discussion. And you have to recheck it before the submission. And always remember, no abbreviations in synopsis. And avoid p-values. You can use confidence interval. See on the right side, background, patient information, intervention and treatment, observation, and conclusion. It's very easy to write an abstract. See one or two examples. This is an abstract. A homeopathic arnica patch for the relief of cellulitis, derived pain and numbness of the hand. So the other information, objective, case presentation. This is actually a case presentation. Conclusion, keywords, finish. So these are all the main areas of an abstract. Another abstract, an integrative approach to interstitial cystitis. Objective, patient and method. That means this is also a case study. A 17-year-old female patient was referred to the treatment like that. Results and discussion. So IMRAD format. Now how we will select a topic. This is also very, very important area. So always think about your professional development. Select a topic that will help you to present the topic in seminars and conferences, and also to get a good number of patients, to improve your professional skill in the private practice, and also you can send this your dissertation to scientific journals. So first one, always think about the professional development. Second one, benefit to your system, benefit to your homeopathy or any other. For example, the management of diabetes with homeopathy. That is an established fact. So no need of doing any postgraduate dissertation in the management of diabetes with homeopathy. But at the same time, which potency of this ICGM is more beneficial in diabetes mellitus? If you are doing a dissertation like that, that will be beneficial to the homeopathy and also to the other doctors of the profession. So select some specific topic that is not already established fact, but select something genuine or something above that that are already available in our literature. And the third one, benefit to the national health system. I will give an example. The cracks in the soul. That is nowadays very common, the plantar psoriasis. But in our literature, the medicines are less. Only remedy that is represented in cancer therapy for the cracks in the soles, that's only arsenic and malbo. In modern remedies, you will get one or two rubrics like sarsaparilla, etc., etc. So, but the cracks in the sole, that's a common complaint. There is no specific treatment in the modern medicine. Once the medicine is withdrawn, the complaint will aggravate. There is no specific medicine for in Ayurveda also that keeps on aggravation. But the incidence of that disease is more. So if you can able to find out a remedy for the plantar cracks, the cracks in the soles, that will be beneficial to your system and also to the national health system. Another example, diabetes. In conventional treatment or in the hypertension, whatever it may be, in conventional system of medicine, we have to take the medicine lifelong. But if you can able to find out some specific remedies for different types of diabetes or hypertension, that is a benefit to the national health system. So always think about your topic. First one, your professional development. That means you can able to present in certain conferences or seminars. At least you can improve your private practice or you can publish in research journals. Second one, benefit to your homeopathic system. And third one, that should be beneficial to the common people of India. So think carefully about your topic, research proposal in detail, stick to your plan, work closely with your supervisor, be organized and take detailed notes whenever you are undertaking a literature review. Detailed notes are always required. And you have to consult a statistician in the beginning of the study itself. That's very, very important. Not at the end. The beginning of the study itself, you can consult him. That is very important. Otherwise, in the final stage, it is very difficult. And there is some lesson from the past. These are some good examples. And the Horlicks people, they conducted a study in the slum of, conducted a study in Mumbai and found out that the Horlicks is very good for the sharper, stronger, and brighter children. But unfortunately, that study was rejected because no control group. They studied only in one group, and when that means one group of children, they have given the Horlicks. But no control group. That means another set of children without Horlicks. They are not studied. So the result not accepted. Another important study, major study about the fluoridation in USA. Within 6 months, the teeth improved. But the critics complained that that may be due to dental hygiene after this study, because they are not used any control group. So the result is not accepted. Given the fluoride to certain people only, but not studied people without any fluoridation of the well. So the result is not accepted. So always remember, for testing a hypothesis, comparative studies required in medical studies. Otherwise, it will not be accepted by the scientific community. Control group or comparative study, that is required. And another study, non-vegetarians are healthier than the vegetarians. That's found in Japan also. They are mainly using the non-vegetarians. And in Hawaii, there is no myocardial infarctions. As per the belief, the non-vegetarians are more prone to myocardial infarction. But myocardial infarction rate is very less in Hawaii and Japan. That's another study. So you can think beyond the belief, or beyond the syllabus, or beyond the concept. And the fifth one, a study conducted in Kerala by the Ayurvedic people. Effect of buttermilk on cholesterol. Usually, if you are taking the buttermilk, that will definitely, sambaram, that will definitely reduce the cholesterol level. But unfortunately, in this study, cholesterol increased. So what may be the reason for that? In Kerala, the most of the people who are using the buttermilk are alcoholics. After taking the alcohol, they took the buttermilk. So probably the cholesterol level will increase. So take care about that. And in another case, the RBS and fasting blood sugar is normal. Suppose we are doing a research on diabetes mellitus or anything related to the diabetes mellitus, patient will bring you report of the RBS and FBS. But if you are checking the HbA1c, the result may be 11.3 or above 6 or 7. So what may be the reason? That means the patient is misleading you. On the day of taking the blood sample, they will not take any food. Otherwise, they will take a lot of food. They have no restrictions of the diet and regimen. So that is the reason for high HbA1c. So these are some lessons from the past. So we have to learn something. So remember, a control group, a comparative study, that is essential in a medical postgraduate dissertation. Otherwise, it will not be accepted by the scientific community. And beware about the patient is misleading, and about also the background of the patient, as in the case of buttermilk experiment on the cholesterol. So you can select the topics like this. The best available medicine is the new medicine. Suppose for the cracks in the soul, the best available medicine is arsenic amalgam. But your experiment is to find out a new medicine for the cracks in the souls. For the diabetic neuropathy, one of the best medicine available in homeopathy is Halonius. So best available medicine, then new medicine. You have to find out a new medicine, a comparative study. You are giving a group of individuals Halonius, another group of individuals some other medicine based on certain facts or constitutional medicine. And you can monitor the hair growth with oil and without external application. A group of individuals you are giving the homeopathic remedy, and another group of people you are giving only the external application for the hair growth. It's a comparative study. And for the diabetic patients, you can select a group of patients, they are taking only allopathic medicine. Another group of patients, they are taking the homeopathy. Another group of patients, they are taking both allopathy and homeopathy together. A comparative study. And you can do the experiment on the plant. or this always called as agrohomeopathy. But remember, you have to collect the plant from the same soil, same environment, same histology, and from the same species. Otherwise, the experiment that will not be accepted by the scientific community. So before and after, you have to test the soil. You have to give the same water to the entire cultivation. And the same, you have to grow in the same environment. You have to check the histology before and after the medication and select the same species of plants only. So you can work on plants or the animals. This veterinary homeopathy, there is a field. It's a good scope in homeopathy. You can select a group of cow. In one group, the veterinary people, they are giving the allopathic medicine, and in another group, we are giving the homeopathic remedies, and see the difference of milk production or this what of the animals or whatever it may be, or any disease of the animal. One group, you can associate with a veterinary university or a hospital for this type of work. So you can have a comparative study. And you can give medicine based on etiology, or you can give medicine based on the constitutional effect, constitution, for the same type of disease. For the diabetes, you are selecting a prescription based on etiology. Or fever, you are selecting a group of patients, prescribing based on etiology, and another group of fever patients you are prescribing on the basis of constitution. I compare. So always remember, this type of comparative study is better during the postgraduate dissertation. And the last one, no need to stick on to your subject of admission. That is very, very important. Suppose if you are doing a post-graduation in repertory, no need to stick on to your repertory subjects. Earlier, we used to find out some management of diabetes mellitus by using the Kent's repertory. All the repertory people are doing something related to the repertory only. And all the organon of people are doing something related to the miasm only. And similarly in the materia medica also. You can experiment anything related to the medical science, anything under the world. You can select a topic. No need to stick on to your subjects of admission. And my request to postgraduate students and postgraduate guides and teachers attending this webinar, never compel your patient to stick on to your subject of admission. They can select anything under the sky. And how to write a title. I will give a beautiful example. Because your area, sometimes your area may be the type 2 diabetes mellitus. Type 1 usually will get lesser number of patients. Type 2 diabetes mellitus. And the objective, role of Halonius in the microvascular complications. Halonius is one of the best remedy that found out after the research that's for the microvascular complications. Especially the diabetes first affect the microvascular arteries, then only major arteries. And the type of study is case control study that you decided. And the study population, urban population of Calicut. So, how we can write a title based on this fact? Assessment of the title should be like this: assessment of homeopathic remedy, Halonius in microvascular complications of the type 2 diabetes mellitus in urban population of Kozhikode, a case control study. Admin, please mute the participants. So the title should be like this: assessment of homeopathic remedy Halonius in microvascular complications of type 2 diabetes mellitus in urban population of Kozhikode or Calicut, a case control study. Everything mentioned in the title. The title should be like this. That should contain the area, that should contain the objective, that should contain the type of study and the study population. And sometimes some universities have a limit of words. In that case, you can cut the Calicut or the case control study, whatever it may be like that.
Yes or no?
Make an interesting title, that's very important. That will generate the curiosity. Make, admin, please mute the participants. So, make it as an interesting title that generates some curiosity to the readers and also to the evaluators. I will give one or two good examples. That's my postgraduate student that did it in the past years. Usefulness of homeopathic medicine in the management of diabetes mellitus, satisfying the criteria of psychological condition affecting the medical condition of DSM for classification. Means that is based on a criteria that is accepted by the scientific community. Satisfying the criteria of psychological condition affecting the medical condition of DSM-4. Another topic, application of synthetic repertory in the management of non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus type 2. That may also generate some curiosity. Remember, only give the title as usefulness or utility of homeopathic medicine. You can give the title as usefulness of homeopathic medicine or the utility of homeopathic medicine. Never give as efficacy of homeopathic medicine. My intention is to study the efficacy of homeopathic medicine in the so and so condition. Never give us. Always give usefulness or utility, because the efficacy is applicable only to the RCT, randomized controlled trial. We are not doing RCT in our postgraduate institutions. If you are doing, you can write it as efficacy of homeopathic medicine. And also avoid the first letters like this, a study on the, that's not a good term to start a title. So remember, give usefulness or utility of the homeopathic medicines. Now, what is the difference between efficacy, effectiveness, and efficiency? Efficacy means potential of a drug in an institute. We found out, we discovered some remedy, and we prescribed that remedy in our institute. Effectiveness means that's something more practical. In the field reality, we are given to a group of people or a community. That is effectiveness. Verifying the effect of that remedy by giving to the community or to the people of that particular state or country. That is effectiveness. Now, efficiency means which medication is better for the disease. Suppose if you are giving the allopathic medicine for diabetes mellitus, and you are giving the homeopathic medicine for the diabetes mellitus. So which one have value for money, input for output? So that is efficiency. So both these three words are entirely different. So efficiency means which medication is better for that particular disease, and value for money, and based on the input for output. So that's the main difference between these three words. Now, always use some accepted tool or parameters. For example, this is a study conducted by my PG student last year. Utility of Repertorium Homeopathicum Syntheticum in the management of alcohol use disorder, satisfying diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorder for criteria. That's an internationally accepted tool. Diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorders, 5 criteria. So always use some internationally or nationally accepted tool or parameters for your dissertation. Otherwise, it will not be accepted by the scientific community. Now, these are all the topics selected by my PG scholars this year. One by Dr. Nitya. In vitro study of anti-cholesterolemic activity of colchicum autumnale in different potencies with in vivo evaluation. First, we are doing an in vitro study, laboratory study of different potencies of colchicum autumnale, and then we will give to the patient an in vivo evaluation of the medicinal action and comparison with the hypercholesterolemic patients against the constitutional medicine. So we are doing a laboratory study first. Then that is we are verifying it on the real patient. And the second by Dr. Afia, in vitro effect of homeopathic drug folliculinum in different potencies on cultured E. coli and comparison with the patients of UTI by using the constitutional medicine. This folliculinum is a very good remedy for the UTI. So we are giving testing in the laboratory first on cultured E. coli. Then we are giving to the patient also the same remedy and comparing the result. And another one by Dr. Sitara, in vitro study of the effect of homeopathic preparation, Lycopodium clavatum in different potencies on monosodium urate crystals, and comparative study to prove its efficiency on patients against constitutional medicine. So that's a comparative study. First, we are doing a laboratory test in vitro, then on the real patients by giving to the patient with the uric acid level. So always select this type of topics with some comparative study or internationally or nationally accepted tools. Now we'll discuss something about the aim and objective. So aim is a broad statement of the general intention of the research and the desired outcome. That's a broad statement. Remember, aim is a broad statement. The emphasis what is to be accomplished, not how it is to be accomplished. Never write in the aim as how it is to be accomplished, but what is to be accomplished. And the third point regarding the aim, address the long-term project outcome. They should reflect the aspiration and expectations of the research topic. I will give you some beautiful examples. So in this case, aim is a broad statement. Objective means how to achieve the aim. It may be a primary or secondary objective. So in this case, the main objective, dehydration management of diarrhea. How to write aim and objectives. So in this case, our objective is dehydration management of diarrhea. And the secondary objectives. We may have the secondary objectives like to reduce the number of stools. That is our secondary objective. To prevent the dehydration, to prevent the complication, and to assess the intensity by a scale. So these are all secondary objectives. Our main objective, that's a dehydration management of diarrhea. And see, the objective difference between aim and objective. My aim, I want to achieve something in the field of research. So that's a broad statement. I want to achieve something in the field of research during my post-graduation. But my objective, I want to publish 2 papers within 1 year of my post-graduation. That's a specific one. So that's objective. So aim is a broad one, objective, that is specific bulleted points below the aim. So I want to publish 2 papers within 1 year. That is my specific objective. I think you got the difference between aim and objective now. So the primary objective, that should be simple, specific, and stated in advance and numbered. You have to give the objectives in numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And the sample size should be calculated for each objective. Remember, sample size should be calculated for each objective and would have at least 1 table for each objective in the result section. If you are giving 3 objectives, that must have 3 tables. And do not include too many objectives that cannot be educatively answered. As per the KUHS, you can give a maximum of 3 objectives only. So aim is a broad statement, objective, bulleted points below the aim. So sample size is required and at least 1 table for each objective. And the basic structure of introduction. In the first paragraph, the introduction of the subjects. I will give some beautiful examples, real examples. Suppose your topic is carpal tunnel syndrome. So you have to find out the incidence, prevalence, or the impact of that carpal tunnel syndrome in your state, in your nation, and in Asia, and across the globe. Suppose if you are doing the study in Thiruvananthapuram, so you have to collect the statistics of the number of the incidence or prevalence of the carpal tunnel syndrome in Trivandrum, in Kerala, in India, in Asia, and across the globe. So incidence and prevalence and impact of that particular disease condition in the community or in the population. So that's the introduction about the subject. Then lacunae and controversies about the subject. For the carpal tunnel syndrome, no effective treatment in the conventional system of medicine. They are advising the surgery, but after 3 months of surgery, the complaint again recur. But in homeopathy, we have some medicines. But the research in this area, the carpal tunnel syndrome in homeopathy, that is comparatively less in homeopathy, and we have lesser number of remedies. So lacunae and controversies about the subject. Then the last paragraph, you are justifying your selection of topic. So therefore, the study was done with the intention of. That should be the last paragraph. That means introduction means the incidence, prevalence, the statistics, the impact of that particular disease on the community or the population. Then you are explaining the lacunae and controversies about the subject, about the conventional treatment, system of treatment, or homeopathy, whatever it may be. So that is the reason I am selecting this topic for my dissertation. Another example, if you would like to have a dissertation on the diabetic neuropathy. Diabetic neuropathy nowadays is very common. The incidence is more in Kerala because otherwise the Kerala is called as the diabetic capital of Kerala. The incidence and prevalence and impact that is more on the society. But unfortunately, the conventional system of medicine, the patient has to take a lot of medicine for a long time throughout the life without any much benefit for the diabetic neuropathy. But in homeopathy, we have only 2 remedies that is mentioned for the diabetic neuropathy, even though the complaint is more nowadays. Phosphorus and Helonis are the 2 remedies for the diabetic neuropathy. So we have to find out some more remedies because the incidence, prevalence, and impact is more. So lacunae and controversies of the subjects. That is why I selected this topic. So this is about the basic introduction this basic structure of an introduction. And remember something more, the table should be in one page. Suppose if your number of patient is 30 or 40, whatever it may be, the master chart should be in the one page, not on the second page. Discussion, that is the heart of the research, that requires several drafts. Results attract the attention of most readers. Immediately after reading the title, the readers and the examiner, they will read the result, whether they got any positive result or negative result or any improvement in the result. So results attract the attention of the most readers, that you have to write very beautifully. Material and cell method, that is very easy to write in the past tense. And introduction is the most difficult section. Remember, introduction is the most difficult section in a dissertation. That should be minimum 2 or 5 pages, minimum. Lacunae in the current knowledge, primary goal of the study, that seeks to address the problem. Then synopsis means before testing the hypothesis, and dissertation means after testing the hypothesis. That is only difference. And remember, for tables and heading, for tables, the heading should be above. And for pictures and graph, the heading should be below. Otherwise you will get negative mark. See, this is an image, picture. The heading should be below. Because tables usually we read from above downwards. But for pictures and graph, we read from below upwards. So for the pictures, the heading should be below. See the table. Table 2, stomach sample composition. Tables, the heading should be above. And for the graph, the heading should be below. See, figure 1, the effect of homeopathic medicine. Like that, you have to mention. Now, something interesting about the referencing style. And this add more value to your thesis or dissertation. If you have done this referencing style in the most beautiful or authentic form, you will get more mark. So usually in Indian universities, the Vancouver style that is followed in Indian universities. So the methods: arrange your list chronologically, 1, 2, 3 like that. Number all the references. List first 6 authors. Suppose your downloaded paper may have more authors. Mention the first 6 authors followed by et al. If there are more than 6 authors. And use official abbreviation for titles and journals. Reference list always begin on a new page. Never start with the result. Never start with it in the same page of conclusion. The reference should be start in a separate page, in a new page. And superscript after the full stop. If you are superscripting the reference, that should be after the full stop. See that. And if you are giving the reference as a round bracket, that should be before the full stop. Do it very carefully, otherwise you will lose mark. So if you are giving the reference as superscript, that should be after the full stop. And if you are giving the reference in the round bracket, that should be before the full stop. Now, how to give the book reference regarding according to the Vancouver style. So see this very carefully. You have to give the surname or initials. See the second paragraph. Surname, initials only second. Rank HP, Kent JT, not JT Kent, Kent JT. Okay. So surname, then initials only. Dale MM. Then the book title. The title of the book in this case is Pharmacology. Then you have to mention the edition, 5th edition. Then the place of publication. In this case, the place of publication is Edinburgh. Then the publisher, Churchill Livingston. And the year of publication, 2003. So this is the method of giving reference. But remember, after the name, after each name you have to put comma, rank HP, comma, Dale MM. But at the end of the surname or the initial, you have to give the full stop. Remember, no comma, the full stop after the author. Then give book title, then give the full stop. Then after the 5th edition, means edition, you have to put comma. After the edition, we have to put comma. Then the place of publication, colon, you have to give colon. Then after the publisher, Churchill Livingston, you have to give semicolon. Then the year. So this is Vancouver styling, and this is very, very important. Unless you have this type of correct Vancouver styling in your PG dissertation or the postgraduate dissertation, you will get minus mark. So this is a book reference. Suppose if you are giving a journal article, as in the case, give the surname, then initial only, then give the title of the article. In this case, antihistamines inverse agonism, anti-inflammatory action of cardiac effect. That is the journal, title of the journal, then followed by the title or the title abbreviation, then year followed by semicolon. Then we have to mention the volume, issue, and the pages also. Suppose if you are selecting some journals as a reference, you have to mention the page also and the date of insertion if available. So see on the last part of the slide, 2012 April 101 bracket 2. 101 stands for the volume. Usually in a year, one volume. And this 2 stand for the issue. That may be the second issue. So usually one volume in a year. So 101 stand for the volume and 2 stand for the issue. So always remember about the full stop, comma, and colon and semicolon. That is very, very important. And suppose if you are copying from a dissertation or a master thesis, you have to give like this. Surname with initial, title, place, publisher, and year. That's the criteria. Suppose if you are collecting some data or downloading some papers from the internet, first you have to mention the author or the website, then the title, followed by the place, colon, publisher, semicolon, date of publication. That means the date updated and date cited dates. That's too important. Sometimes in certain website the date of updated is not available, but don't worry. So date of updation that you have to mention, and the date of cited by you, cited date by you people. So this is a means giving a method of giving a reference to the web page. Then suppose if you are collecting some images from the internet, you have to give reference like this. The name of the image, the World Bank, STM, whatever it may be, and also available from HTTP, and you have to give the full URL. And something about the data entry in correction method. Data entry you can do it in Excel or Word. That is also very easy. And you can use some statistical softwares like PINFO, SPSS, and NMaster. And SPSS is the most reliable and simple to use, but we have to give some payment. Anyway, PINFO is free and NMaster is also free. So you can use this type of statistical softwares for your research, and then your work will become more authentic and more easy. And you can use for these 2 softwares, Zetro and Mendeley. These are the 2 softwares that's available as a simple softwares that you can install in your computer, and you can do this entire reference work with the help of softwares. No need of manual work by putting the comma, by putting the colon or semicolon. I will post 2 videos regarding the Zetro and Mendeley in our WhatsApp group immediately after the presentation, so that you can understand how we can do this reference very easily without any manual work. Manual work is very difficult nowadays. And something about the plagiarism. And simply copying from the internet, simply copying from the textbook. That's not possible nowadays. All the universities have plagiarism software. So plagiarism means intentional or unintentional copying. Copying of the paragraph, that's a plagiarism. Copying of the table, copying of the images, that's plagiarism. Intentional or unintentional, both comes under the plagiarism. And remember, the guide is also responsible for the plagiarism. Once you sign your dissertation of your student, you are also responsible, and you will also punished. And the main website is plagiarism.org, but you have to pay a lot, but we'll have some other methods that I will explain it. So the university will give your user ID and password into your mail, and open the website in your browser and your email ID and password. And you can change the password, agree the terms and condition, click which university that you belongs to. You can upload your dissertation in a single file up to 20 MB. If your file exceeds 20 MB, split into 2 or more files, each file is less than 2 MB. It takes 2 to 3 hours for processing. Student can log out and open for 2 and open after 2 or 3 hours with your login and click into your area. The tool shows the percentage of plagiarism. This software is available in almost all the universities. Resubmit above the proposed percentage. And many of the universities allow up to 15%. Some universities may allow up to 50%. Sorry, this 20% of plagiarism. Usually 15%, 1.5, and rarely some universities they may allow up to 20% of plagiarism. That may happen because we are copying some data from for the introductory part and the view of literature, and the resubmission can be done until the last date. So you will get a certificate like this. In this case, the plagiarism is 20%. In this case, plagiarism is 35%. So you have to rewrite your thesis once again and resubmit. 3 to 4 chances usually given by the universities. Now we'll check. We'll discuss how to check the plagiarism. Before submitting the university website, you can check the plagiarism. I will give you some simple website. There are a lot of websites are there, but after checking 1 or 2 pages, they will ask for the payment. But I will give you a simple free website. They will not ask any payment after checking 1 or 2 pages. You can copy or upload your pages at a time 2000 words. Don't worry, in an A4 sheet, that means 300 words only. So at a time, you can check 2000 words, and you can check the remaining 2000 words after the day after, on the next day only. So we'll discuss something about the plagiarism. That's also very important. So open any browser. There is a good website called the Small SEO Tools. Small SEO Tools. And there is an option for the plagiarism checking. And you can see the news in newspapers that the PhD thesis of some vice chancellors that is copied from other theses or from other journals, and then they will become disqualified for the post of registrar or for the controller of examination or the vice chancellor. So be careful about the plagiarism. Suppose otherwise your paper will not be accepted by the scientific journals or by the officials of the university. So plagiarism checker, and this is the area you can paste your dissertation part or thesis, whatever it may be. For the time being, I am copying a synopsis of one student from our college. Just press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. And below that, this is loading. If the plagiarism is more than 20% or more than 50%, you have to rephrase or rewrite your dissertation, means the words or the sentences or the paragraphs in your own language. Now there is a button called Check Plagiarism. So it will check. The topic is homeopathic management of depression. Plagiarism checking. See the result. 63% you copied from some textbook and websites. Only 37% is unique. So maximum allowed is only 15%, 15% of plagiarism. And this software or any other software, they will give you from which textbook or from which website you copied. They will show it. The red marked as plagiarized, and unique means in your own words or it's in your own work. Suppose if you are clicking on the plagiarized, just click on this compare. That will show you from which website you copied and from which textbook you copied. Select another one. Each line, this software will check. This is line by line plagiarism checking. So click on this. Here. Even from the homeopathy study guide and from Homeo book also you copied some. These are all the 2 websites you copied that particular line from for your thesis. So always remember, try to rewrite in your own language. Otherwise, that results in plagiarism. But don't worry, you can do it manually. Nowadays, this software will also help you to rewrite. Remember, see this icon. Rewrite the plagiarized content or rephrase it. This software itself will rewrite it. So just press on it. the same paragraph. Rewrite the article. See, they are rewriting it in their own language in order to avoid the plagiarism. See, these are all the areas marked in color that they corrected. One in shape like that, rewrite it in your own language. You can recheck it once again by clicking the button, check plagiarism. So nowadays it is possible to rewrite with the help of software. In previous years, we have to rewrite in our own language manually. Now this type of softwares are available so that you can rewrite your dissertation. So remember, the guide is also responsible for the copying. And one more thing, that's check the grammar and spelling. If you are talking to somebody, the grammar is not important. But if you are writing something, the grammar is very, very important. So I will give you a good software, small software that you can install in your mobile phone or in the desktop PC, whatever it may be. That's available from the grammarly.com. Suppose if you are, take a browser, or you can install this Grammarly in your desktop. It's an authentic software, Grammarly. Just copy your entire thesis or a part of dissertation into this software. As a new document. This will work in all systems, the iOS or in the Windows or in this another, and also so just copy and paste. Yes. This checking. It will give the correct word also. So instead of disorder, we have to give a disorder or the disorder for a few hours. A few, that it will automatically correct it if you are pressing this. Then by definition, even that will correct the comma also. In treatment, so if you are clicking on this in treatment, it will correct the phrases in the treatment. Like this, it will correct the is, was, had, have, whatever it may be, everything that will be corrected automatically by the system. Unnecessarily overreacting. That means it should be a one word, overreacting, that will automatically correct it. So you can even, if you are installing the Grammarly in the browser, suppose if you are posting anything in the Facebook, it will be corrected automatically. It will show you the number of errors also. That will be shown on the right bottom. How many errors are there? How many grammatical mistakes are there in this, etc. Depending upon the, the speed of internet connection. It will show here. I will show it later. So Grammarly, that will check. Then if you would like to study or teach more about the dissertation, I will give you two books. One book that is a medical postgraduate dissertation, a step-by-step approach. One of the beautiful book available in the market by Dr. Ananda Krishnan. It's available online, and the teachers or the guide or the PG scholars can buy this book. It's only cost nearly, I think, nearly 250 or 300 rupees. That's published by Jitmar of the Pondicherry. Another book by one of the famous this academician and researcher, and Dr. Munir Ahmed from Bangalore. This is by a homeopath. So dissertation made easy. It's a simple book that is very useful for the postgraduates, students and teachers. And the KUHS format of dissertation that you can download from the university website. So my request to the students and guide, read the research articles and papers as much as possible and take a printout. Never read it online. Select some good genuine research papers, download it from different sites as we mentioned yesterday, and take a printout and read. Then only we will develop a research mind. Not only the student, but guide also to download research articles and papers and take the printout. And the guide and student should work together. Not only the student, guide also work very hard, then only we will get a good dissertation at the end of the post-graduation or the PhD, and mark your life. That means do something to mark your life. Post-graduation is a good thing to mark something, your contribution to the profession, your contribution to your institute, or your contribution to the community, whatever it may be. Do something to mark your life. Otherwise, you may be disappointed after 3 months of the post-graduation. Now see the browser. It's not loaded so far. Okay. So everything will check in online also if you are installing the Grammarly. So one request to the postgraduate scholars: make your class worthwhile, interesting, understandable, memorable, and you must have some take-home message to the students. And try to start your class on time. Sometimes the student may come after 5 or 10 minutes after the OPD or IPD, whatever it may be, but you have to class your start on time. Then the student will come from the next day onwards by sharp 11:30 or 9:30, whatever may be the time. So make your PG classes as worthwhile, interesting, understandable, memorable, take home message. And always remember the PG student, the presenter must be the center of attraction, not your audiovisual aids. I found in many postgraduate institutes, they are presenting simply by looking into the LCD projector or into the screen. But the presenter should be the center of attraction. Make your own contribution while using any slides. And always remember, this type of slides must supplement the presentation and not as a substitute. The main points you have to display and the rest you have to explain. So never read your notes in the classroom. If you are taking the classes to the undergraduates, never read your notes in the classroom. They can get more information from the internet or from their smartphone than you. So give something beyond the syllabus, beyond the boundaries and beyond the thought of the undergraduate students. So the application level teaching, that's the postgraduate teaching, or the postgraduates teaching the undergraduate student. Okay, so never read your notes in the classroom, and always store your research database in online media like OneDrive, Dropbox, or Google Drive, or any other drive that's available online. So no need to worry about the virus or this hard disk failure. So create a folder in the online. So PGs must have enthusiasm to teach, enthusiasm to students. That means you will get 90% learning retention if you are teaching others, and enthusiasm to homeopathy. And my dear organon students, if Hanuman is still alive now, we can get 100 editions of organon of medicine. But we homeopaths still sticking on to the 5th or 6th editions of organon of medicine. The organon PGs can at least develop a blueprint for a new organon of medicine. So it is a desire of every student that their teacher will give them some meaningful learning experience that will help them to fight the challenges in the life. Always remember, if you are teaching an undergraduate student, always remember they would like to get some meaningful learning experience that will help them to fight with the challenges in the life. Not merely teaching the theory, but teaching something beyond the syllabus, the interpretation, the clinical aspect, or the application level of teaching. Always teach your undergraduate students like that. And this college or our college is not for teaching the theory, but teaching some skill. So always remember these words. So far we have discussed about the post-graduation and research, the common errors noted by the university guidelines, format by KUHS, the basic structure of dissertation and how to select the topic, and how to prepare a best title, the parts of dissertation, the evaluation of dissertation, referencing style, data entry and backup, plagiarism check, teaching methodology. These are the things we discussed today. And the attitude determines your altitude. A small change in attitude make big difference. A small change in attitude may make big difference. Your altitude, that's determined by your attitude. So together for a better and academic research excellence in homeopathy medical colleges. That's our aim. Better academic and research excellence in all the homeopathic medical colleges across the country. So please subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel, for more videos like this, and also our Facebook page, Homeopathy Homeo Book. And that's all for the time being. I love my dissertation. That should be your attitude. And now, if you have any question, you can ask and about the topic selection or about the dissertation, whatever it may be. So please visit our website also, thehomeobook.com and drmansurali.com.